This is the 2024 Nissan Versa, which is one of the cheapest vehicles that you can buy brand new today with a starting price of just $16,400 for the base S model. But this particular car, being the SR trim, is the one to buy, which starts at $20,400, and it comes so well equipped that it beats out vehicles that are significantly more expensive by having more features, which is what we'll be covering today as we go through the exterior, the interior, the powertrain, and of course, we'll take it for a drive. So moving on to the exterior of our Nissan Versa. Well, our particular car is finished in Ember tint coat, which is this nice metallic red that looks absolutely fantastic. It's a fairly simple looking vehicle. It's of course a subcompact built for economy, fits in 99.9% of parking spaces, which means it'll be easy to park. Now, just going over some of the various features, we do get LED lighting, which is a nice feature. We have this black grille and SR badging, which looks kind of sporty, but there's not really any sporty nature of this car. One of the things that's exclusive to the SR are these 17-inch wheels, which are really nice. These are not steel wheels. These are in fact real deal wheels. You can see our disc brakes in the front. We have drums in the rear, and they're a good looking wheel that'll go a long way in terms of the overall appearance of the vehicle. It makes it feel more quality-like, and it should slightly help the resale value as well. As we move on, we do have some black colored mirrors here, which look pretty good. We have, of course, 4 doors with seating for 5. We get keyless entry, which is a physical button, something you would have seen a little bit of older cars, but it keeps the price low, which is what's really important when it comes to taking a look at the Nissan Versa. You also get a variety of other cool features, including being able to pop the trunk with the key that's available, which is always really cool. And as we move to the back, there's nothing too crazy. We have a slight color keyed spoiler here, more SR badging, more LED lighting, and some extra Nissan badges. It's a fairly simple exterior, but I think the simpleness of the Nissan Versa and the price is the real reason that we're so interested in taking a look at this very, very affordable and very feature-rich Nissan Versa. So under the hood of our Nissan Versa is the same engine across the board, no matter which trim you pick. So we have a naturally aspirated 1.6-liter inline 4-cylinder, which produces 122 horsepower and 114 pound-feet of torque, which is not a lot. Now, as far as which transmission it goes to, it depends on your trim level. The base S model comes with a 5-speed manual transmission, and all of the trims above that, including our SR here at the top, gets a CVT or continuously variable automatic transmission, and that sends power to the front wheels. So just something to say, FYI, if you live in a snowy area, front-wheel drive is actually better than rear-wheel drive in a lot of instances, and you have some bit of ground clearance, which will help with bumps and getting over any snow mounds that might exist as well. So consider this as a cheap snow vehicle as well, but it's not going to be as great as all-wheel drive. Something to keep in mind. Now, this is a fairly lightweight vehicle at just 2,700 pounds, which is great because that's not a lot of power that engine's producing, and it will do 0 to 60 in about 9.5 seconds with a quarter-mile time of about 17.5 seconds. Now, that's not great. Flat to the floor, it's going to take you a little while to merge onto the freeway, so something to keep in mind. Or if you like to have your vehicle full of all of your friends, that's certainly going to slow the vehicle down. Those are all things to consider, but it's not meant to be a performance vehicle, but it is great from getting you from A to B. So moving on to the fuel economy of the Nissan Versa. Well, the EPA ratings say it's rated for 32 miles per gallon city and 40 miles per gallon highway with a combined rating of 35 miles per gallon. I will say I stayed well within those numbers during my time of mixed driving here in Phoenix, Arizona, and you can definitely achieve over 300 miles of range while driving your Nissan Versa. Obviously, it'll be great for just driving economy. You'll save a ton of money just on gas. Even the tires, for example, are fairly thin and won't cost you much money, which means the maintenance fees on your Versa will be fairly low, along with great fuel economy, which is another great reason to consider the Nissan Versa. So moving on to the interior of the Nissan Versa SR. This is where you're going to find a lot of the value by buying the higher level SR trim. Now, sure, the basic styling of the interior is going to be shared across the new Versa, and we do have seating for 5 like you'll also find in the other Versas. But the technology is going to be totally different in the SR, even just looking at our touchscreen here in the middle. The overall feel of the car is pretty good. Nissan definitely put some effort out for the overall design, and in the SR we get a leather-wrapped steering wheel, which improves your experience with the car when your touch points are a higher quality material, which is a great thing to interact with. Now, you still have things like cloth seats. They are manually adjustable, but one of the biggest upgrades to the seats is the front seats are actually heated, so you have 2 different controls there, which is a phenomenal experience to have. There are cars that are significantly more expensive than this that do not get heated seats at their various trim levels. So already a huge plus, especially if you live somewhere cold and that's a must for you. the Nissan Versa SR has it, and I love that. The other thing that I love about this car is we get this 8-inch touchscreen display, which also has a lot of physical buttons, which is another big win. It's nice to have both depending on what your preference is. On top of that, you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in here, which is also great. And you actually get a surprisingly decent sound system for the money. Usually at this price point, most of it is very muddy and doesn't sound great, but I actually didn't mind the system in this car. It was really easy to do long drives in it, and I quite enjoyed it. You even get a slightly sporty steering wheel. We get a flat bottom. We get all of our cruise control settings as well in here. All of this stuff that goes such a long way when you're looking for a car. The fact of the matter is, this has a lot of the amenities that you would want in any modern car. You can spend way more money and have the exact same features just in a slightly bigger or slightly different looking car. So it's all really impressive. Even in the driver display here, you do have one analog gauge for your speedometer, but you actually have a multi-informational display which you can adjust and move around as well, which is a really nice feature. You also get push-to-button start. It's nice that Nissan has 2 different USB types of chargers in here. We have our shifter, including a wireless charger, I should add as well. We have our shifter here for our CVT, and we actually have a physical handbrake here, which is not something you see too often in newer cars. It's electronic. And then you get non-adjustable cup holders and even a storage spot. So all in all, it's not a crazy complicated interior, but it comes with the stuff that really we need, the necessities, but also luxuries like heated seats. And it's just a great experience interacting with the Nissan Versa SR. So what's it like to drive the Nissan Versa SR? Well, it's not a driver's car. It's really more so just an economy car to get you from point A to point B that happens to offer a fair amount of features and basic creature comforts that you'll not even find in cars that are significantly more expensive than this. The overall ride quality is fine. I had no problems with it driving here, both mixed driving in the city and on the highway here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'd say the nice part about it is it's just tall enough where you don't really have any issues with speed bumps or any of those types of things. I would say the biggest downside of it is just the overall performance that you get with that 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. You see, the problem is that engine just doesn't have much of a grunt, and so flat foot all the way down, you're doing 0 to 60 in 9.5 seconds, which it's not expecting this to be a sports car by any means, but you start loading this thing up with people and it's just going to start slowing down more and more. I mean, this is a relatively lightweight car at just 2,700 pounds. And so, you know, already taking that long to hit 60 is, says a lot about the performance of the vehicle. So if you needed something that was going to be able to haul either a lot of cargo or a lot of family members, this is not going to be great at that. Admittedly, like I said, the more we put in it, it's going to be a noticeable difference, especially if you have to drive up hills. It can be a little bit noisy on the inside as far as revving, but honestly, it's not really a big deal with the overall experience. But it's actually genuinely a comfortable car. The sound system is fine. The fact that you get heated seats makes this such an easy to use everyday vehicle, and I think that's what makes it really special. And even fuel economy wise is impressive that you can actually get what the vehicle says that it can do. So we're gonna get on the freeway here. Pedal is mashed. 40. We're working our way up to freeway speeds. You can hear it's getting louder. Still not the freeway speeds yet. Oh, it just about made it there as it started to level out. So as I mentioned earlier, it's gonna have a problem with hills, but really it's just an easy to use car. The visibility is pretty decent. The A-pillars are fairly long forward and swooping. You can check all your blind spots because of the 4-door. It's pretty easy to look behind you as the driver. It's just a pretty easy to use car that doesn't do anything special, but it'll be just fine as far as driving, navigating, and you get the comfort of cup holders, heated seats, and AC, which is, what more could you ask for in a commuter or just a vehicle just to drive? I think it's perfect at that. So in conclusion, the 2024 Nissan Versa SR is a lot of vehicle for the money. You could buy cheaper Versas, but then you don't get all of the great features that the SR has for the heated seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that 8-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloy wheels, while you still get seating for 5 and a huge trunk space to boot, which is quite a lot of nice features that you would have to pay significantly more in a lot of other vehicles in order to get those types of features, which at the price of $20,400, the SR makes a fantastic commuter to just drive from A to B, or if you're looking to buy a brand new vehicle, this will not break the bank. Now, sure, it is a little bit underpowered. We would have liked to see more power in here, but at the same time, you also get what you pay for. But it's a nice blend and balanced vehicle that would be great to have as a complement vehicle, like I said, or your first car. It works just fine at that. With that, if you have any comments, go ahead and let me know down below. And if you enjoyed the video, could hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.